actually the ability to manifest is fundamentally based in neuroscience. There is no woo-woo, there's no magic. You're manifesting all the time. Many of the decisions they make in their lives are actually based on the baggage that they carry. When I changed how I looked at the world changed how it looked at me. The universe doesn't give a fuck about you. You are the universe. The ability to manifest is fundamentally based in neuroscience. There's no magic. There's no law of attraction. Manifestation is the ability to take an intention and embed it into your subconscious in a manner such that it has the greatest likelihood to occur or to manifest. Every second, we have about 6 to 10 million bits of information coming to us from our sensory organs. That's what makes us who we are. That creates our reality. But on a conscious level, we can only deal with 50 to 100 because 99.9% go to maintain our bodily function. That 50 to 100, though, you have control over. You take the tools to embed something into your subconscious. If you create habits, this results in the creation of neural pathways. And if the mere repetition of those habits actually lays down the circuitry that then gets embedded and then actually makes things happen. When you are able to use all of your sensory organs or abilities to embed that intention and do it repeatedly, that is when you're creating these neural pathways. If you have an intention, you take a pencil, you write it down, you're actually doing something physical, tactile, then you read it silently, then you read it aloud, then you visualize that, and you do that over and over again. What that will do is then embed that into your subconscious. And then these different cognitive brain networks get activated. One is something called the default mode network. So once this gets embedded and you create the narrative of who you want to be or how you see yourself, what you're doing is you're creating salience. It means making it important. This activates what we call our task positive network. The task positive network has 3 parts. It has the salience network, the attention network, and then the executive control network. Once something is salient, what you're basically saying is, this deserves my attention. Then that becomes important to you. That gets embedded into your subconscious as something to pay attention to. That activates your attention network so that then you cognitively focus your attention on whatever that intention is. Once those are activated, then the attention network is activated. And then once that attention is focused, then it starts looking around through all the possibilities in your environment. And as soon as it identifies one, then your executive control network is activated, which in some ways is the thing that chases down what is in your subconscious. This is how it works. There is no magic here. Every time they make a negative statement, it's as if they're laying down a brick to build a prison, and the walls get higher and it gets darker. Yet, all of us have the key in our pocket to let yourself out of the prison that you created. And I think this recognition is what's really, really critically important. And it's not woo-woo. It's not looking to the universe to save you. It's understanding your own self-agency and not believing that there's something out there. The burden we carry as a human being is negative self-talk. It is not going to go 100% away. That's just the way it is. Key is, though, in the face of the negative self-talk, you're okay. And understand what it is and not let it overpower you where you sit there and go, oh God, I'm horrible. And you just ruminate over this. Recognize for what it is and let it sit there. You don't have to do anything with it. And this is the fundamental practice of mindfulness meditation. But the aspect which I think is different, and actually what we teach at Stanford, is to have compassion for self. And this is when you give yourself these positive affirmations and you say you're worthy, you're good enough, you deserve. And a lot of the negative self-talk comes from the baggage that we carry from our childhoods. And this is what a lot of people don't appreciate. You're manifesting all the time. What people don't realize, though, is that many of the decisions they make in their lives, the relationships, the jobs they have, the decisions they make, are actually based on the baggage that they carry, and that is the narrative of their story. And so one of the first things is to sit back, and whether it's with a therapist or just self-reflection, where you're writing things down and trying to understand how you become you, to have some awareness of what created this. And once you have that insight, then that allows you to not be as affected or to believe it, but understand that it's the nature of how humans are wired. And it's okay. That's not going to change. It's like also accepting your shadow self. All of us have a part of us that we're ashamed of, we're embarrassed about, we've done actions that are horrible sometimes. You can't push your shadow away. You have to accept it and integrate it into who you are. And the same is true of this. So once you're able to do that, that lessens the power of that inner critic. I wanted a Porsche. I wanted a Rolex watch. And all of these external material things that so many people in our society think they need. They think somehow if you get this stuff, that's going to fill the void all of us have. And of course it doesn't. But society is oriented, unfortunately, towards seeking external affirmation with the belief that if you fulfill the societal narrative of success, which is money, power, position, that will then translate into happiness. This is a story that's been told over and over and over again, and it does not. Many, many extraordinarily quote-unquote successful people who are absolutely miserable. When you chase things like that, that's because of your own insecurity. And as a result, that activates your sympathetic nervous system, which of course is the flight, fight, or freeze response. That has a very negative effect on how your brain functions, but also your peripheral physiology, and can lead to a lot of very significant diseases and decrease your life expectancy. Versus if you shift that narrative, if you will, to the love mode. All of us have the ability to actually shift from engagement of our sympathetic nervous system. That is the system we were designed to live in. That is the system in which you care, which you're rewarded for caring, where you have the release of oxytocin and these other neurotransmitters that activate your pleasure and reward centers when you care for another, especially your offspring, but also within the context of our common humanity. And that is the mode you want to be in, especially if you want to manifest, because that is when your cognitive brain networks, your peripheral physiology work at their best. And that is from the love mode. Every morning I wake up and I sit at the side of the bed and I do a breathing exercise. Slowly breathing in for 4 to 6 seconds, holding it for 4 to 6 seconds, slowly letting it out through the mouth. And then that shifts me into the parasympathetic nervous system, or strengthens where I'm already at. And then I think of the joy and awe of being in this world. And I just sit with that for a minute or two. And then literally I just go through that alphabet, and that centers me for the day. If I'm centered looking through that lens, then that actually creates the environment for me to manifest, because I am in the right mindset. I'm calm, I'm thoughtful, I'm thinking about others, I'm not self-focused. And the very nature of that allows me to manifest. Now, I was going to mention in the evening, all of us have goals, all of us have intentions. And you can prioritize them from ones that are whatever the top 3 are. And then I'll go through the exact same exercise I mentioned. All of those things strengthen the power and put you in the right mindset to have the greatest likelihood of you manifesting your intention. The universe doesn't give a fuck about you. You are the universe, and that is your gift. When I changed how I looked at the world changed how it looked at me. Each of us has the ability to improve the life of at least one person every day. And whether it's a hug, whether it's saying hello, whether it's sharing a meal, when you can actually look through the world through that lens, how can I help at least one person every day? That is a habit that puts you in the mindset to not only be of service and to help others, but it also helps you because it then gives you the power actually to see the world through the different lens and then be able to manifest whatever your intention is. And that is the power of our humanity. And it all relates fundamentally to connecting with another with an open heart.